So I had this roommate. I'm laughing because she almost frustrated my mom. So she went about school telling people, let's say Sally is back with the baby. She's hiding the baby. For God's sake, if I want to hide my child, I will keep him at home.
That's true.
You understand? So when she was saying that, and me, I was protecting the boy from the weather and all of that, depending on when he will be strong enough to withstand all of that.
Have you ever heard a true life story that left you speechless, yet at the same time emotional? Because this story have true life lessons that you can actually learn from. Welcome to Matters Arising on Life Changers TV with your host, Faye Glover. Today is a special edition because I have a guest in the studio with me, Sophie Bless. It's good to have you in the studio.
It's a pleasure to be here.
Yeah. And she's going to be sharing with us a story that promises to be educative, with a lot of motivation. So I'll just let her take us through the conversation as she tells us her story. So over to you.
Okay, thank you very much. It's a pleasure to be here. My name is Sophy Bless, or let's say on the register, Blessing Tani, but I adopted the name Sophie Bless. It's a story for another day.
Okay.
So it's talking about my story. I'm a graduate of political science from Usman Danfodio University, Sokoto. Yes.
So we have an aspiring politician in the nearest future.
Let's not go there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So can you walk us through those moments where you discovered that as a young girl and then you discovered that you were pregnant? So what were your thoughts in your mind?
Okay, this happened in the year 2016, January to be precise. Okay, what happened was I left a relationship where I was, should I say, I was dating myself. So out of the pain, the shock, and everything, it led me to the arms of this guy. And the truth is that this relationship was not because I loved this guy; it was like a sexual something. So I was just doing it to get out of the heartbreak I just, should I say, I survived from. So moving on, that was when I met this other guy, and before we knew it, I was pregnant. And that was supposed to be my final year in the university. So after the deed was done, I went back to school, but I was not myself. I saw that I was falling sick. I knew something was up. I went to the clinic. They were doing the normal malaria typhoid test. They were not seeing anything. They were just bombarding me with drugs. But I knew what was wrong with me. I didn't want to tell my friends because I knew I had crazy friends around and they are likely to give me wrong counsel. So that was when I discovered what happened. So I had to defer the whole session and I had to travel back from Sokoto back to Abuja to repel myself to my parents. And mind you, my father is a pastor, general overseer of a church.
Wait, as a pastor's child, how did your father take this news?
Okay. I used to think that my father is someone with serious anger issue, but when it happened and when he found out, I was expecting him to tell me, "Oh yeah, pack your load and get out of my house." But for the very first time, I saw my father break down like in tears. I've never seen that in my life, so I really felt it was an emotional pain for me. Yes, he was disappointed. He was not happy about it. My mom too. They were not happy about it, but they showed me that this is not the end of your life. So they embraced me, and I was not expecting it. So it actually really broke me.
Wow, wow, that's something you don't see on a regular day, especially being a pastor's child, and we know the responsibility that comes with, like, people are looking up to you, you're a pastor's child, so you need to live the right. So how did this affect your education?
Okay. Initially, I thought I was going to just lose 1 year, but I ended up losing, should I say, 6 years thereabouts. Because, okay, I got pregnant in January 2016. I had to go back to Sokoto in, I think, March, April. I deferred the entire session. That was supposed to be my final year. So I had to return with my son. I gave birth on the 1st of October 2016. I had to go back with my son on the, January, I think first week of January 2017 to continue. My mom was like, leave him at home. I was like, no, this is my cross. I have to bear it. So going back with him was something else. Like, it affected me. I was missing lectures, I was missing my CAs and everything. So at the end of the day, my final prayer to God was like, God, I I know I didn't give it my best,
Mm.
but it was because of my son. The guy was always falling sick and all that. But so in everything that happened, just let me pass. Let me just pass. At least, no matter the grade, let me just pass. Let me just finish because I cannot imagine coming back again. And by the help of God, I was able to round off in October that year, 2017.
So, with the stigma, what was life like for you returning back to school? Because you said you had to carry your cross. Now you're returning back to school with your child. So, what was life like for you?
It was crazy, but let's say I was ready for the worst. I was prepared for it. I knew, like, okay, so far as I had experience from my 100 level to down to 400 level, I've never encountered anything like that. So I was like, okay, because me, I used to say I'm a very strong-willed person. Once I put my heart to do something, I give it my best. So when I went back, I wasn't 100% sure of what is going to happen, but I was ready to, let me use the word, I was ready to chest whatsoever was going to come. So going back, it was not easy at first. The boy was still, he was just like 3 months old.
Wow.
So I was staying indoors, and so to the Hamatan can be very crazy. I had to rent a place close to the school because I couldn't stay in the hostel and all of that. So I had this roommate. I'm laughing because she almost frustrated my life. So she went about school telling people, Blessing Sally is back with a baby, and she's hiding the baby. For God's sake, if I want to hide my child, I will keep him at home.
That's true.
You understand? So when she was saying that, and me, I was protecting the boy from the weather and all of that, depending on when he will be strong enough to withstand all of that. So when she said that, I now told myself, okay, we have this joint fellowship. We call it the University Christian Campus. We're like fellow, yes, UCC. We're like 1,000 thereabouts. And I told my friend, see, we'll go attend Sunday service. We're going with my child. And we're not going to go anywhere. We're going to go where everybody's seated and go and just anything that wants to happen. They'll be hearing the rumor. Anything that wants to happen, it should happen. So that's the when we got into the auditorium, we could see the ushers giving themselves eye contact and all of that. And they were just, and I was just smiling with my son, and I was ready. Should I say I'm a dramatic person? I love to get into drama.
Wow.
So I entered, and at the end of the service, it came, hi, fine boy, la 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 la. But I knew what they were saying about me. But as at that time, I told myself, no matter what will happen, this is my cross. I have to bear it. And I believe in something. It is how you treat yourself. It is how you see yourself. That is how people will see you. If you see yourself that, okay, because I have a son, I cannot be anything, I am less, that is how people will see you. But once you put value on yourself, yes, I have a son. That is not the end of my life. I have so much more in me. That is when people will begin to see you in that particular light. So it was not easy, but here we are.
Okay, so I recently saw your post on social media where you said you had to wait for 7 years before going to do your NYC. Did you at some point thought about probably this is like a punishment because of what I did or my sins catching up with me? How were you able to stay in faith in that waiting process?
Actually, yes. At many points I felt, okay, maybe I should have done this or I should have done that. You understand? I had regrets, that's not the truth, because I saw my mates, people younger than me, they were just moving. Like, people who were in secondary school when I was in my final year. I'd done with everything and I was here struggling. But God was trying to teach me through the process that, see, you are not on the same race with everybody. Everybody's running their race. Because being someone like me, I started secondary school when I was 9 years old. I finished at 15, so I had already projected my life. By 21, I'll be done with my NYSC, I'll go for my master's, I'll become a lecturer, and later in life, I'll delve into politics. But God had a totally different plan for me. So at a point, yes, I felt if I had not made this mistake, I would have moved with my mates. But right now, I do not regret it.
My God.
Yes, because in as much as it's a long process, I have learned so much. I've built so much capacity that I won't trade for anything.
My God. So during your NYCs, what are some lessons that you want to share?
Okay, during my NYSC, okay, last year finally I was mobilized. I didn't get my results until after 4 years. I finished October 2017. I didn't get my results until 2021. And as at that 2020, I had told myself I was never going back to Sokoto because they said that we are having one missing grade. Something is always wrong. Sometimes I would go there, spend like 3 months, 4 months. Some people were thinking I even had maybe some spills and all of that, but that was not the case. Today they'll tell you, okay, you need to clear this, you clear it, expecting your notification to be out. Nothing was forthcoming. So 2020 during COVID, I told myself I'm never going back to that school. I'm just going to write the jam and all of that. So COVID-19 prolonged. And 2021, my parents were asking me, what's up now? How far? I already proposed in my heart, but I didn't tell them what I had in mind. So it was in July. I just had a thought. Why don't you give this thing one more push? If it doesn't work after this time,
One more push.
then you can let it go. You can go and buy another jam phone. After all, you're not that old. So that month, I said, okay, I've been doing physical, I've been taking physical steps. It's now to activate the spiritual. And that was when I told myself, okay, throughout the month of July, I will fast. If I perish, I perish.
Wow.
So at the point, my mom was even coming to tell me, you've lost so much weight, you're not looking good. I said, my life is already miserable. What do I have to lose? If this is the only thing I can do, let me do it. If I die in the process, I'll go and meet my creator and all of that. So it was after the fasting program. I remember the friend invited me to his church for a program. I didn't want to attend, but I believe that was when I actually got my turning point. And getting my turning point was another thing. After I encountered, okay, I rededicated my life to God on the 5th of July, that same 2021. After which, that night I went home, I knew that something has shifted in my spirit.
Wow.
I prayed for hours. I didn't know. Normally, I would pray 5 minutes, 10 minutes max. I would check in the time. But that day, the encounter was exceptional. It was really beautiful. So that same night, I got an instruction. This one is not one prophet that said, Sophy, do this or that. I had an instruction from the Holy Spirit. He said, I want you to give my most valuable possession. And mind you, then, I had resigned from my job with a record label. The job was something else. After that, the only thing I was doing now was content writing, and I was using my phone. I didn't have a laptop. And I said, most valuable possession. Wait, do I have any possession? My account is really insufficient fund.
Wow.
So what could be that valuable possession? Then the Holy Spirit now said, you are holding it. And it was just my phone.
Wow.
Where do I start from? I just said, no, but I said, Lord, if this is really your voice, take my peace away until I do this. So, moving on, I told my friend that invited me to the church. I told him, this is the instruction I'm getting. He said, oh, if it's between you and God, I cannot say anything. Just do what needs to be done. So I sold my phone, packaged the seed. I took it to church, dropped it on the altar. And I had a voice telling me, write on it, restoration seed. So I boldly wrote it, restoration seed. The amount is not much, but then that amount was something to me. I dropped it at the altar. I came back there. And in less than 40 days, I got a call. Before I'm the one that would travel to Sokoto and pursue them from office to office. This time around, I got a call. Your notification is ready. Come and get it. I was like, what's going on? Unlike other times, I've spent 2, 3 months, 4 months in Sokoto. This time around, I went and I spent just 3 weeks. And I noticed that my notification, this was August 2021. I noticed that my notification has been ready since 2019. That's 2 years earlier. And I've been traveling and they have been telling me that it was not ready. And the funniest part was I had 2 notifications. One was in June 2021, the other one was in November 2021. I just think that, man, there was really something that was trying to stop me from achieving it. So that was how I finally got my notification of result. But it now took another extra 2 years before I was mobilized for NYSC. Everything was clear, but it was just from one phase, like life really wanted to test me. You understand? It really wanted to test me, but I just told myself, man, anyhow, gold must go through fire. And this is just my fire experience. I'm going to come out, and I'm going to come out refined, and I'm going to come out beautiful from it. So last year, it was even around, I think, yes, September last year, I got another instruction. I went out of my house and I saw 2 girls hawking shoes around school hours. And I had a voice strong. I used to see them before, but I never felt any attachment towards them. And I had a voice. Send these girls back to school. I was like, are we send these girls back to school. How? I knew I didn't have the funds, so I just did a fundraiser online. I called my friends. I told them, okay, look at these girls, so let's send them back to school. And I was said, okay, I'll do that. And in the place of prayer, I had another voice telling me that, okay, do this and watch what will happen. I sent them back to school. The following week, somebody connected me to a lady in Sokoto. And in less than 2 weeks, my name had appeared on the Senate list. I had done everything for my NYSC. Other people had it smooth. But I don't know why mine will always have to come with a lot of drama. I believe it's for a reason, though. So that's how I was finally mobilized for NYSC. And November last year, I was in camp, went through the 3 weeks experience. I was actually sent to Taraba State. I had to relocate back because, yes, I still had my job then. And my son is here. I couldn't leave him and all of that. So that's the journey. It has taught me patience, endurance, perseverance, responsibility. It comes with a lot. But let me pause there for now.
Okay, so what are the stereotypes you want to discuss about single motherhood or single parenting? Maybe for someone out there that's a single parent and you look successful right now with your son Ethan doing very well. So what are some of the stereotypes that you want to discuss in the society?
Okay, there are a lot of stereotypes attached to, especially being a single mother, single father. I would say men are more favored. Single mothers are always having the stigma, but it's important for the society to know that there are many reasons why a woman is called a single mother. She may have been raped, she may have lost her husband, it may have been some careless state, maybe she was drunk, it can be anything. So before you box everybody, it's very important to know their story. My own, I was not raped. Yeah, I took myself to the place and it happened. But now, I feel for you who have had that experience, I feel, okay, this is enough reason for me to hide my face under the table. Let nobody see me. I want to tell you that that is not the end of your life. I remember 2017, I had to go for counseling. I had to go. My mentor had to call a psychologist to even speak to me to make sure that if I wanted to achieve 5 before, now I'm going to aim to achieve 10. So if you are in that shoe, it's not the end of your life. As you can see, it's not the end of my life. My life just got started because what you're going to be hearing from me, let me brag, oh
My God.
because I know where I'm headed. You understand? And going back a little bit, what helped me to be patient and to know that I was going through a process was because in the year 2014, that was when I got to know the purpose for my life. I told you my life was fast tracked, everything was happening fast. But in the passage of the Bible, God showed me my purpose. He was like, I've spent so many years in waste. I was like, it's just a little word, my word, because my life is fast, everything is going as planned and all of that. But now, when the pregnancy thing happened and all the 6 years, 7 years wait, that was when I started understanding that, okay, I needed to go through this phase, not just for myself. Like Jesus came, he needed to come and suffer and die so that we can understand the sacrifice he has done and all of that. So I needed to go through this phase, and now it has bettered a vision. Bringing out ladies who are in similar situations. Like now, I don't want to have, I don't want to encounter perfect ladies who their lives are all worked out. I want to go and meet those ones who feel nothing good can come out of my life. Then tell them, share my stories with them, pray with them, encourage them, and hold them by the hand to ensure that the way I got out, they also get out. And because back in the days when I share my story, you'll see me all teary, I'll be crying, I'll be hot and all of that. But now, there's no crowd I cannot stand before to tell my story. It is then I now got to understand that I needed to go through things. Like my mentor, she lost her husband in 2014. Then she started a widows ministry. But she wouldn't have been able to feel the pain of widows if she had not gone through it. Now she's remarried. But before now, if they tell me that girl is a single mother, I used to look at her. But now, if you tell me you're a single mother, I'll be like, I've been there before, this is it and this is it. So it has taught me a lot of lessons that I am happy about. Yes.
Okay, so wrapping up this session, it has been wow, what a story, mind blowing, and then get to discover more about who you are. So, wrapping up this session now, what advice would you give to somebody probably that is experiencing a delay or have their life being disrupted? Maybe the plans that they had for themselves now, they say that it's a different path that is unfolding for them. So, what would be your advice to that person?
Okay, first of all, I would want you to know that you can't skip your process. No matter how you try to plan your life,
Can't skip the
if
process.
yes, if God has destined it that this is how it is going to unfold, you can't skip it. But while at it, you have to just keep a positive mindset. You have to keep a positive spirit because there's a difference between waiting and wasting time. You understand?
Yeah.
You may be just sitting down, listening around and say, okay, I am in my waiting period. And when you are in that waiting period, you have to engage in a lot of things. You understand? I lost track of the skills I learned during the waiting period. Like there's almost nothing I can't speak right now. Both soft skills, physical skills. I learned a lot of things. I developed myself. So I was even bragging to my sisters the other day. I said I'm the only core member with 4 years working experience.
My God.
You understand? So if I hadn't had this process,
Yeah.
you understand, a lot of things I would have not learned. So just trust God through the process. Just know where you are headed. Because they say when the purpose of the thing is not known, abuse is inevitable. I knew my purpose. It was clearly written in God's word. So I knew that when I was experiencing these delays, it was part of God's plan for me. I'm not saying we should go about being careless and saying this and call it part of God's plan. We should do our best to give life. Like let's give our best to life. But while going through it, if there are some things that are not going as planned, we should go back to the drawing board, ask God, ask the Holy Spirit, okay, what do you want me to learn from it? And I said there's a difference between waiting and wasting time. Some people will just use that opportunity to not develop themselves and all of that. And at the end of the day, it's more like 2-0. So do not relent, do not be discouraged. It is just your process. It may not be like mine, it may be worse than mine, it may not be as bad as mine, but everybody must go through their process. It's either you go through it now or you go through it later. All is working together for your good. And lastly, I would say if a pilot is flying a plane in the air and there is a storm, he doesn't land to park his plane. He keeps moving till he gets to a clear space. So that is it. When you are feeling that storm, they say he who runs from a fight today lives to fight it another day. So just build that resilience. Just tell yourself, I can do it. It is not there to consume you, but it's there to uphold you and make sure you are better than you used to be.
Thank you so much, Miss Sophie, for sharing your story with us. I don't know who you are, wherever you're watching us from. If you're experiencing a delay in your life, it's not the end for you because the journey still continues and it's just a process. But then you just have to know where you're going and put the prize in front of you. And if you're a single parent, whatever mistake you have done, the plans that God has for you supersedes whatever is happening. And if you can develop yourself, she made mention about that. Make sure you develop yourself to get to that point where you want your life to be. And God surely will bring greatness your way. And until we see you next time on our episode of Matters Arising on Life Changers TV, do have a blessed day. God bless you. Bye-bye.